Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3 of our Forza Horizon 3 drag builds. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 98 1200 horsepower Toyota Supra Horizon Edition. So this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's taken me a little while to tune to kind of get the launch down well enough to really make a video over this. So today we're going to be looking at the upgrades that it would take to get this thing to where it is, and also the tune to get you guys caught up on how this thing actually works. So let's go ahead and dive into the upgrades. First off, we're going to have the engine upgrades. On this, we've taken everything but the race flywheel. There's some debate back and forth on whether to take the stock flywheel or the sport flywheel. For this instance, we've taken the sport flywheel. The stock flywheel does a pretty good job as well. It tends to make it launch maybe just a tad bit harder, but in this instance, we're going to go ahead and run the sport flywheel. Moving on to platform and handling, we've taken everything here except for the roll cage. So this will actually tend to slow us down a little bit more and may give us a little bit better stability, but generally it's going to slow us down quite a bit. Drivetrain, as always, we're going to take everything here. So clutch, transmission, drive shaft, differential. These are kind of essential things just about every build. Moving on, we've got the tires and rims. So with this one, we've gone with the Horizon Edition tires. These will also be the stock tires on there. There is some debate about the Hot Wheels tires for train tracks having slightly better grip, but realistically, the times for the 0 to 60, 0 to 100 there, and also the actual in practice of racing, the stock tires seem to do a lot better. One of the other things that I've done is taken the 255mm front tires. Some guys will upgrade the 265 in the front, but for this build we've done the 255 in the front. Back tires will be the Max 345, and the wheels will be the lightest ones we can find. There's also no size change on this one, just in case you guys were wondering. We're not looking to put dubs on our race car. So next up, we'll have the aero section. And with this one, what I've done is left everything pretty much stock, with the exception of running the no wing in the back. I know it kind of looks un-Supra, but that wing I'm just not a huge fan of. Now, another thing you'll see a lot of other Supras in the game running is the body kits to kind of lighten the car up a little bit. These aren't completely necessary, and they only shed a few pounds, so in this instance what we've done is just left everything pretty much stock. Now lastly, we're on the conversion tab. This one we've obviously left it stock engine, changed it to all-wheel drive, and we've done the single turbo upgrade. And with all that said and done, you should have around 1175 horsepower, 977 foot-pound torque, and weigh in right around 2816, making you an S2 946. That's the upgrade section complete. Now let's dive into the tune. And as always, while we're doing this, feel free to pause at any point in time. So first up, we've got our tire pressure set to an 18 in the front, a 15 in the rear. Next up, we'll have gearing, and this is kind of the crazy part. So a lot of guys that I tune and race against, they've kind of got some different stuff set up. But with this one, we've got a 226 in final, a 292 first, a 203 second, a 152 third, a 112 fourth, a .97 fifth, and a .78 sixth. So we're going to be using third. That's going to be the highest gear that we reach to. This is a 3-speed. So with this one, it's kind of dynamic. So you can change it if you're at the airport. I wouldn't, because like I said, this thing caps out probably somewhere around 173, 174 at the airport, and that's kind of what this gear set's tuned for. But just note that there is a slight difference between the tunes that I run at airport and train tracks, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Okay, moving on to alignment. So you're going to see something kind of interesting here that I don't normally run in my cars. But with the Supra, we've decided to do some camber. This is kind of something that I was joking with a buddy with. We ended up running a .-1 in the front and a .-5 in the back. Whether or not this really does anything, I don't think it does, but it does seem to launch a little bit better with that setup. So next up is the anti-roll bars. These are left completely stock. I haven't adjusted these necessarily at all, so we won't be going much into that. Next up will be springs, and the front will be set at a 182 with a 170 in the rear. Ride height will be in at 8 in the front and 6 in the rear. Kind of sort of that stance look for most drag cars. And since this is running the rally suspension, you're going to also see that it's slightly a little bit offset from what the track would normally be. Now on to damping. This is going to be a rebound stiffness of 1.7 in the front and a 2.8 in the rear. Bump stiffness is going to come in with a 2.6 in the front and a 2.0 in the rear. And with this setup, it kind of comes in with the traditional setup that I normally run for my damping on most cars. Aero and brake are same as always. Since we don't have a wing, we can't really do anything with that. And brake is the usual, we don't really care how we stop after we're getting those wins. But the Supra has some pretty good race brakes, so there's really no need to tune those. And lastly, we'll have the differential. So the front acceleration comes in at a 19% with the decel at 0. Rear comes in with the accel of 72 and decel of 62. The deceleration on this is kind of set the way it is just because it was something that I was messing with, but I don't think that it really matters that much, kind of how the Mustang last week was. So I think it will be staying at the 62%. The center diff split is at a 57% in favor of the rear. So with this done, I'll go ahead and describe a little bit about the shifting and how you want to launch it. The launch will be right around 56 to 62. Shifting on that launch, you'll want to shift into second right around 79 to 80 miles an hour, and shifting from second to third right around 119. And then as far as third is concerned, you're not going to shift, you'll just finish out the race right around 170 to 171 at the tracks and about 174 at the airport. With the only thing being changed for the airport is running a 56% split in the diff to get that launch perfect. So with all that being said and done, I want to thank you guys for watching episode 3. I will be putting this tune-up in the storefront along with the Gremlin and GT350 in case you guys just want to download it and run it, see how you like it. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave that thumbs up, and also subscribe if you would like to stay notified about my newer build videos. We've got the Bentley coming up soon, I believe the M3, and we're going to do something pretty special for you guys again right around episode 6. So I want to thank you guys again for watching, and I'm out.